In Germany, more than 250,000 persons are victims of home violence. 73% of those victims are women, and I am here to talk today with Sabrina Osso about this very problem. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, Moritz. This is so great. Thank you for the opportunity.
So you are a real estate agent for many, many years now, but on the sidelines, you also have a lot to do with home violence. How does it come?
Yes. Well, I am a survivor of violence. My father beat my mother on a regular basis. My mother would beat me, so I know firsthand how traumatic it is to live in this type of environment. And actually, uh, I I want to say that like you said, the statistic is very daunting. There's so many people that are affected. And I want to say that we're not a nonprofit. We're not a charity. We don't believe that this epidemic of violence, abuse, chaos, dysfunction can be resolved as a nonprofit charity. People need to pay for this service. And we can go into explain that further in the interview, but we're offering the OsoSafe certification for properties into the real estate industry. And this is a much better approach because that way it makes respect a required standard in all homes. So the real estate and OsoSafe was a natural merge, really, because if you think about it, everything happens in the home, everything. So if we make home safe, then everything else will fall into place. So the focus is in making home safe, whether you live in a townhouse, a co-op, a condo, a single family home, a multifamily dwelling, a two-family home, a villa, a mansion, a mobile home, it won't matter. I think I covered everything.
Yeah, I think you definitely covered everything besides the bungalow, but or the tent. But
Okay.
wow, wow. Okay, so your TEDx talk is called "If You Are a Victim of Home Violence, Don't Leave, Stay." Provocative title to say the least. But what do you mean by that specifically?
Yes, excellent question. Because I grew up with it. I know firsthand, like I said, how fearful and terrorizing it is to live with your parents that are abusive, and they're supposed to be your safe haven. They're supposed to be your safety. If you're not safe at home, then where are you safe? And I never understood the logic. Well, why should you leave? Whether it's male or female, 1 out of 3 women will be beaten or raped in her lifetime. 1 out of 5 adolescent girls is abused by her boyfriend. 1 out of 7 men is abused. I could go on and on with statistics. You mentioned a few of them pertaining to Germany. So I never understood why should the victim leave? You stay right where you are. It's the abuser that has to leave and not come back. Because why should you leave? You're traumatized, you're bloody, your children are traumatized, whether it's male or female. You stay right where you are. It's the abuser, the one who is dangerous that has to leave and not come back, which is why making respect a required standard in all homes is avant-garde, and that's how it should be. So that's why I'm saying that. And actually, the TEDx people liked that title a lot because it was very anti-typical. They liked the title and they wanted to know more. So they said, wow, this will be really good for our audience because it's not what you typically hear.
So when thinking about home violence, everybody just things directly about a person that is very aggressive, going on to their partner, trying to stab them, or any very, very big fight. That's the only solution for any fight in the household is only brutality. But where is the line for house violence? Where does it start? Is it just shouting already, or is it first starting with gestures, or where is the line?
Excellent question. As soon as one of the people in the household feels threatened, scared, and it could be, we categorize the abuse into 3 buckets, if you will: verbal, physical, sexual abuse. So, and then mental and emotional abuse, well, that's kind of enveloped in the verbal and physical abuse, because no one is going to be punching you and saying to you, you are wonderful, you are great. They're saying horrible things to you, and it's affecting your mental state, your emotional state. So, so as soon as, like, some of the warning signs is, let's say you are dating somebody and this person seems like they love bomb you. I love you. Meanwhile, you just met them and I love you. I love you. I want you all to myself. Well, how come you're wearing those things? I want you all to myself. I don't want anybody looking at you in a certain way. So as a female or male, maybe you're wearing pants all the time and you cover yourself up. And let's say you're very stylish, you're a stylish man. So now you're wearing baggy clothes, you're isolated, you're not seeing your friends and family. These are all warning signs. And as you're dating, you need to break it off immediately. Any verbal abuse. So if they're telling you you're a piece of garbage, you're crap, you're nothing without me, you are all the female, all of the, and I hope I could say this on your podcast, but
Of course.
any labels like you're a bitch, a slut, a whore, a tramp, a sleaze, a floozy, a bimbo, a thought, a skank, and all the other lovely titles that are given to females in particular, all of that is very, these are all red flags. Another red flag is pornography, BDSM. Pornography is a big driver of violence. I'm not talking about erotica. Erotica is where it's, there is sexual freedom there, but pornography, BDSM stands for bondage, domination, sadism, and masochism. If your partner, you're dating somebody and they're trying to get you, oh wow, this turned me on, I want us to do this, and it involves strangulation, rape, any sexual assault, it involves punching you, these are all red flags, and you need to not have it go any further. So to
sorry,
go ahead. Go ahead.
but
Sure.
you're saying that everybody who has the sexual pleasure in BDSM is more likely to execute home violence.
Yes.
Is that really true? Because at the end of the day, of course, everybody can do whatever they want to. If both people consent, or both people like it, no matter what the act is there no gray area? Is it really just all people who have a pleasure in BDSM or stuff like that? How do you come to that conclusion?
Because there is a lot of science and research backed by people that engage in pornography, BDSM. Now, like I said, I'm not talking about erotica. Erotica, there is sexual freedom. So even if you have in pornography, BDSM, no, I like to be spit on, and I like to be, and you like that I pee on you. But this is all anti freeing. And I can tell you from personal and professional experience, BDSMers, a lot of them are women, and they fly under the radar because usually they say the perpetrators are male, and that's true. However, there are female perpetrators, and BDSMers, they will stop at nothing to get what they want, and they prey on submissive men, and those men can have children, and they rope them in, engage in a real estate contract, if you will, whether they live with one another, they cohabit, they get married, they are engaged. BDSMers are sex abusers on and off camera, and they do convulsing, revolting, disturbing things on and off camera. And the abuse does not stop when a video is done or they have a client come over and then the children are out of the way. That doesn't happen. The children are being groomed to be future pornographers, BDSMers. And there are 2 websites that are backing what I'm saying. 2 in particular, there's more, but 2 in particular is Collective Shout and Fight the New Drug. These are excellent Instagram handles, and I believe they're also on LinkedIn, and they are saying this is very detrimental. Pornhub, for example, they have, if I'm not mistaken, they have had to take down more than 50% of their content because it is a crime scene. It is not consensual. There is child rape. There is rape, period. And they are pretending like, oh, well, this is consensual. It's only adults. Do not be fooled. And this is basically, if I know the credit card companies have cut ties with Pornhub and I believe a few of the other sites because they want no part of it. I know Visa, MasterCard, and Discover, you can no longer pay for any Pornhub downloads any longer because of the lawsuits and how all of the perpetrators they're sexually abusing in videos, and children are involved, and a lot of boys and girls, I would say, but more boys, they are looking at porn, whether they're being exposed to it involuntarily or, they're with their friends. Ooh, check this out. Look at this. Look what's happening to her. Look at what they're doing. Look at what he's doing. Look. It's getting younger and younger, like 8, 9, 10 years old, which means that the boys and girls are learning these very unhealthy sexual habits of abuse, where they're thinking, oh, well, this must be what boys like, where the girl is being, the woman, the female is being choked. And there's an uptick in relationships in teenagers that is what they're doing to each other. This is not a healthy relationship. And I'm not talking about, okay, you're dating, you want to experiment. You can experiment in so many other ways, but why do you have to sexually abuse someone to experiment? Even if it is consensual, the foundation of it is sex abuse. And I also want to say, this is another statistic. It's about people that do pornography, BDSM, something like 97% of them have been sexually abused. So it's fundamentally rooted in sex abuse, and they're perpetuating it. They're continuing it. So why would you do that? If it was done to you, why are you victimizing other people and children at that? So, like I said, two websites that are very educational, and they're really putting on the forefront how harmful All of these sites are Pornhub, Xfinity, Femdom, I Want Clips, Clips for Sale, X Hamster, and so many others. And they are doing their best, collective shout and fight the new drug, to imprison the executives at Pornhub, I recently read. So, and these BDSMers, a lot of them are women, as I said, and they could be your next door neighbor. They could live upstairs, downstairs, across the street, and they pose as upstanding citizens. I'm not doing anything wrong. Mind your business. But I can tell you, they are dangerous. They will stop at nothing to get what they want. And they are victimizing the children, any children, whether they give birth to them or they date someone with children. I hope I educated.
It's just a hard thing to swallow, pretty much. I don't have anything right now to say against it or anything in experience or anything. So, of course, everybody should do their own research out there, I guess. But thank you for giving the sources and everything. Coming back to home violence. Why did it not stop over the last few years? I mean, of course, the world is changing every single day, and I think most of the things we have now are better than the things we had 100 years ago. And 100 years ago, of course, domestic abuse was a big thing, and domestic abuse is a big thing right now as well. Why are there always symptoms of that? Or is home violence a symptom for something else?
Excellent question. The reason why it's still happening, and in some ways it's even worse than before, what is good right now is that there's much more awareness. There is much more discussion about it. So people are much more aware. However, it starts in the home. Homes are not safe, and children suffer the most in these circumstances. I should know. I was one of them. So a lot of it has to do with repeating the cycle, continuing the cycle. Well, I grew up with violence, so this is the norm. This is normal. You beat me, I beat you, I put you down. No, I'm going to control your finances. You need to put me on your account. I'm the one who's going to be controlling all of the money in this household. All of these things, it starts as a child. So the abusers now, when they were children, they were abused. They saw it, they experienced it, and they did nothing to change it. So they are perpetuating it, they're continuing it. And I want to say, we have a product and service. Our core product is the OsoSafe certification for properties that we are introducing into the real estate industry. And this is making respect a required standard in all homes. And I thought long and hard about this with my business, how I wanted to build it, how I wanted to structure it, if you will. And the key ingredient to a safe home, if you think about it, is respect. Respect needs to be practiced. Respect needs to be a core in everyone's household. Without respect, there's violence, abuse, chaos, dysfunction. With respect, it's about positivity, empowerment, encouragement, freedom, choice, and respect will yield a safe home. So we are introducing into the real estate industry. We are marketing this to landlords and tenants and to property owners or property managers. Hire us. We'll get your property OsoSafe certified. That means that they purchase the OsoSafe Home Sweet Home package. The package consists of a policy, a seminar, an app, and therapists assigned to the property. The policy, Moritz, basically states, I, as a landlord, I promise to provide you a safe space for you to live. You, in turn, as my tenant, you promise to not act in any way, shape, or form abusively. Otherwise, you, the abuser only, gets immediately evicted from the premises, and we go into full knowledge knowing that that would be the consequences. Secondly, a seminar, the OsoSafe Home Sweet Home Seminar, for adults and children alike. We go over facts, statistics, warning signs, definitions of abuse, the difference between abuse and discipline, what constitutes a good relationship, what are the warning signs of a bad relationship. So that way they cannot turn around and say, oh, I didn't know that if I pull my partner's hair, that constitutes abuse. Now you know. The third component is an app. It's the OsoSafe app, which is being improved upon right now. This app will detect violence-like movements and captures them in real time, issuing alerts to the landlord. Let's say you have 10 units. Oh, wow, I just saw you beat the crap out of her in my unit 2, and you just beat the crap out of him in my unit 10. This is grounds for eviction. You knew that this was going to happen. You are held to a higher regard, a higher standard in an OsoSafe certified property, and I have to protect all of my other tenants. You need to go. The fourth and final component are therapists are assigned to the property, so you need to check in with your therapist once a month. Is everything okay? Do you feel like anything is looming? Well, Mr. or Miss Therapist, our kid came home with bad grades. We're not going to beat him up. We're not going to verbally disparage him, but help us through this. We don't know how to handle this. And I want to say that our children's book, which is behind me, the title of the children's book is Home Safe Home for You and Me. It is a staple in all OsoSafe certified properties. And in the book, I am introducing the concept of, to children, know that for the moment, which means right now, you are safe. And I'm also introducing the concept of respect, disrespect, abuse, and non-abuse. And I'm teaching them, children, the OsoSafe Kids Cheer. And it goes like this. I want to live where I am OsoSafe, and I am OsoSafe with, and they get to fill in the blank. They could say, I'm safe with mom and dad. Great. But what if you're not safe with mom and dad? What if it's mom and dad abusing you verbally, physically, sexually? Is there an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent, a close family friend that is willing to take you in? We plant that seed into their psyche to speak out. So we're giving children in OsoSafe certified properties voice and choice. We do not wait until they are 18 years of age to have agency over their lives, because quite frankly, Moritz, it's too late to do something when they are 18 years of age. A lot of damage has happened because children know who make them feel safe from teeny tiny through 18 years of age. So all of these components working together makes for an OsoSafe certified property. Our logo gets placed outside of the property, so any vehicle and pedestrian traffic, they're looking for a place to live. Oh, wow, I would rather live in an OsoSafe certified property versus one that isn't. So this is making respect a required standard in all homes, like putting it on the map. And we believe with OsoSafe certifications for properties, to answer your question, ultimately, this will diminish and prevent further violence and abuse in homes.
Thank you so much for your work. I think it's one, if not the most important thing out there at the moment for most of the people, because at the end of the day, it is your home. And yeah, just thank you very much for everything you're doing over there in America. And thank you for your time here today at Life Decoded.
Thank you, Moritz. Thank you so much.